So today, guys, we're going to be talking about what I think is the #1 build new and returning players who are just coming to the Division 2, just got to level 40. What would be my first build that I will put together? I get this question a lot. Yo, Skills, what would be the first build you would work on if you wanted to start farming those harder difficulties? And I actually did this on a brand new account. I only had level shade 50, I think, when I made it, and I finally leveled him up. But the first build I put together is exactly this one, and it worked. So you don't have to worry about having a higher expertise level. You can actually farm heroic with this. And that's why it's actually a good build for new and returning players, and it's not that hard to get. As you guys have seen in this gameplay, a lot of damage, a lot of survivability, and it makes it so that you can actually clear content a lot easier. And when you have a build like this, what that allows you to do is farm the harder content and then farm other builds. As long as you have one solid build in your backpack, that means that you can go out there and farm those other builds that you're really looking forward to getting. So that's why this build, to me, is probably the #1 build that you guys should try to get, because it's pretty easy to get the roles that you really need. So let's get into the video, and hopefully you guys are ready for it. So let's talk about it. So the build I'm talking about is a 4-piece Hunter's Fury with a 2-piece Sokolov, or you could do a 1-piece Sokolov and 1-piece Grupo Sombra, and we'll explain everything in a second. Now, I will tell you the reason why this build is really good is because you guys know that Hunter's Fury provides you SMG damage, shotgun damage, but it also gives you 20% armor on kill. Now, if you pair that and you level up your gunner class, that means you can get 10% armor on kill. So that means you'll have 30% armor on kill on this build just from running a 3-piece. And then Apex Predator is very strong, so that's why amplifying your weapon damage against those enemies and then also debuffing them is a bonus for you. So survivability on this build is very high, especially on lower and harder difficulties. And that's what I'm telling you. You guys are seeing the gameplay. Heroic wasn't hard at all. It's pretty easy to do. Now you may say, well, your rolls are pretty high. I'm telling you, done this on a lower rolled with only, I think the max shade level I got in was 100, and I was still very effective with this build. So this is my recommendation. So we know it's a 4-piece Hunter's Fury. So if I was starting level 40 and I was just getting in the game, what I would do is I would actually look for where the Hunter's Fury symbols are. So you see this symbol right here? So everything in the open world will drop in this general area, everything that's outlined here. So you actually have 3 control points, and you have all these pieces right here. And by the time you complete this, you should have a decent build. And I'm telling you, I would recommend maybe starting on normal and then working your way up. So if we look here, you can get pieces that aren't maxed out. Even if you get a piece that might be 6% crit damage or 12% crit damage, which is maxed, or then you can max out the armor roll and you pick one or the other. Now for this build, you're gonna wanna have 4 pieces of blue. You can have 4 pieces of blue wherever you want. So what I would do is start on hard difficulty, work your way to challenging, and as you guys, if I was farming this area that I just showed you, if I was farming this area and I did it on hard and I got some good pieces, then I would dive right into challenging, right? And then once you get challenging rolls, then work your way up to heroic. But what I tell you is, once you get yourself some pretty solid pieces, if you get the mask, you get the holster, you get the knee pads, and you get the gloves, you'll be in very good shape. And that's not starting with the rest of the build. So let's get into the build so that way you guys can see how I have it spec'd out for you guys. We have armor rolled on the mask, we have crit damage and a crit damage mod. Now a lot of times they have 10%, and I even think this week they have 10% crit hit damage mod for sale. You can pick those up and put those there. You don't need to have the maxed out mods. Slowly but surely you'll get there, but don't worry about that. We go over to our holster, which is our second piece of Hunter's Fury. We have armor, critical hit damage. We go to our third piece, the knee pads, armor, critical hit chance. So I wanted to go some critical chance because you want to try to get that 60% crit chance. And we have the gloves with armor, crit damage. So those are the 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury that you guys want to go for. Now, the next 2 pieces are either going to be Sokolov, because the 2-piece gives you 15% crit damage, or you can go one piece Sokolov and one piece Grupo Sombra, which Grupo Sombra is going to give you 15% crit damage, which we have right here. So it could be 2 Sokolov pieces or 1 Sokolov and 1 Grupo Sombra. So you click on this, we have the Sokolov chest piece. Remember, so we have the 2 piece, we get that 10% SMG damage, 15% crit damage, and then we have weapon damage, crit chance, and a crit damage mod. Now for the talent, I decided to go with something that's easy to proc, which is going to be Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds. Now this does stack up to 25 times. So this is a really easy talent to proc, especially if you have a high crit chance build. That means that you should be able to keep that 25% weapon damage pretty easy. And I'll show you the weapons I'm using to help with that. But yeah, I think this is a good talent. Remember, as you guys progress the build and you get other pieces, you guys can swap out the talents how you see fit. But I'm trying to get you guys with a build I would recommend right off the bat. For the backpack, we have the second piece of Sokolov. We have weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and a crit damage mod. And then I decided to do Adrenaline Rush. Whenever you're within 10 meters of an enemy, you gain 20% bonus armor for 5 seconds. Now this stacks up to 3 times. This is actually great for that survivability when you're fighting multiple enemies in those control points. So this is what I would do if I didn't have the Memento Backpack. So Memento Backpack is a great piece to put on all your solo builds, because as you build those stacks, this would be a piece I would swap that out for. So if I had the Memento Backpack, well then I would just take off this Sokolov piece and then I would just run the Memento Backpack. But maybe a lot of you who are newer don't have this backpack, so recommend using a piece like this until you can get it. And with this build, you will be able to clear out 100% clear out heroic content once you start to slowly level up. So start hard, challenging, and progressively get up there once you have it, and you can farm multiple builds. For the weapon, I'm using the Vector SBR. So this has SMG damage, crit chance, damage target out of cover, and then I went with In Sync, because what this is going to do is going to give me 30% weapon damage and 30% skill damage when my skill is doing damage and when I'm doing damage. So a lot of damage right there. Now I have crit damage, crit chance, and crit damage on the weapon itself, plus a 20-round mag. For my secondary, I decided to go with the named shotgun, the Mop, which I think it was for sale this week, so you might be able to pick it up or just farm named items. You can put any shotgun on here, but I went with this one because it hits hard, but it also has an attribute that gives you 10% armor on kill. So you add that with the armor that I'm getting back from my build, which is 30%. Now, yeah, that's 40%. So anytime I do get a kill with this, that's a big chunk of armor coming back. It has shotgun damage, damage to armor, and then I put In Sync on there too. So the same talent as my Vector. Just wanted to show you guys that you could run this on both pieces and it works good. Now, if you have the Scorpio, swap out the Mop and put the Scorpio on, but a lot of you guys might not have this shotgun yet. And you know, that's why I'm telling you guys, I'm trying to make this build. So a lot of you who have friends who are just starting, maybe they can use this as a guide. But obviously, once you guys start getting different pieces, you can start swapping out the backpack and chest piece talent for the ones you want. Now with the Gunner class, you also get the Banshee Pulse. Another great skill, and the reason why is because this confuses the enemy. So if you have a lot of enemies shooting at you, you use this, it disorients them, and then that gives you time to kill them and eliminate them or get into cover if you need to. But the Banshee Pulse is great, and then obviously you saw I was using In Sync, so you're gonna want something that does damage. Striker Drone is great for that. So if you look at the stats on here, I have 54% crit chance, 165 crit damage, 70% headshot damage. And remember, these numbers will change a little bit, especially if your watch is on the newer end, because you won't have all the crit chance from here and you won't have the 10% weapon damage. But once you guys level this up, it will get better. But I just want to explain to you guys, once you guys get to about 100 shade level, that's what I was using, and I was clearing heroic content really easy and farming on a new character who's not attached to this account. So I just wanted to test it out, see how it was, and this works great. This is actually my go-to. The Gunner class, we have SMG damage, shotgun, and then obviously you'll notice that we have the barrage talent, we get emplacement, supply line, we get killing enemies grant 10% armor on kill, that's what I was telling you. We have every third reload is 50% faster, and we have the Banshee Pulse. So this is what I am running with this, and that's what I recommend if you guys haven't. So the Gunner class, 100% is what you guys are going to want to go with. Now remember, you can also check the vendors. Sometimes the vendors have those green gear sets. This one doesn't, but Miss Mendoza sometimes has it, and even the clan vendor. So depending on what you're looking for. I'll just go over there to show you real quick. I don't think there was anything Hunter's Fury this week, but check these out. And that would be another way maybe you can upgrade your pieces little by little. As we go right here, you can see we have Striker, Eclipse, and then we have Tip of the Spear. So that's just something for you to keep in mind when you guys are doing this. But this week is actually a great week. It just reset. You have Hunter's Fury. So if you're new or your friend's new, that's what I would recommend, guys. That's what I recommend doing if you guys are looking for a build that's going to perform well at lower and higher levels. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully you guys use this. And if you guys have any questions, hey, use the comment section down below. I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Appreciate the support, appreciate the love. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, nothing but skills out.